It's a blessing to see people with their heads up to the sky. Well, good evening, family of God. Hey, it's your brother, G. Hightower, the Entanglement Coach, coming on tonight with this awesome broadcast with my dear sister, Miss Cleoni Crawford, and she's going to come on and talk about how to develop a successful podcast, and she's going to give you some other good information about how to better develop your own brand and how to take what you do to the next level in the marketplace. Listen, come on in. If you're watching this broadcast by way of replay, you only need to do two things. Number one, make sure you're taking good notes. And number two, share the broadcast. You can do that two ways, family. You can either hit the share button right there. Hit that share button right there. You can also, if you're on Facebook and you're watching us, because we know this is on YouTube as well. Welcome, YouTube viewers. Thank you for coming in. If you are in Facebook land, listen, you can drop some names in the comment section, and that will essentially tag people and bring people into the broadcast. All right. We want this great woman of God, Miss Cleoni Crawford. We want her gift to be shared with many people tonight. All right. Veronica, good to see you, dear. Blessings on you, Veronica. Thank you for coming in. Please share the broadcast as well. Thank you so much. All right, family. So listen, we're going to give people a couple of minutes to come in. I know people are not accustomed to seeing me come on this early. You're used to seeing me either in the afternoon or at midnight. But this is a special broadcast that I wanted to host for Cleoni because she has some great gifts and talents that can help all of us take our game to the next level. All right. Miss Wanda, I see you, dear. Blessings on you. So if you've ever wanted to develop a podcast show, for those of you, and I know many of you, you've had a desire, you've had a passion even to really go forth with podcasting, but many of you have just been really apprehensive about hitting that little button and says go live. I know. It took me a long time to do it too. I know some of y'all don't think that I was a shy guy, but listen, to this day, I don't like the camera. Cleoni, I know you don't believe that I don't like the camera. I don't really, but it's a part of my calling. I really don't have a choice. It's in alignment with my purpose. So I had to get over my shyness, or let's just call it what it is, because shyness is rooted in fear, right? And so I had to get over that fear. That's the bottom line. I had to just get over it, period. All right. You can't call yourself a leader if fear is still hindering you from going forth in the fullness of your calling, the fullness of your purpose. So I had to just get over it. All right. And some of you, listen, Cleoni is here today to give you all some tools to help you get over your fear too. All right. Because when you better understand how to do a thing, it gives you greater confidence to just go forth. I promise you, family, it's easier than you think. It's easier than you think. Maureen is in the building. Bless you. Michelle Hall, I see you, Michelle. Blessings on you. Good to see you, Miss Maureen. Good to see you. All right. So listen, fam, we're going to get into it. I want to have all the time that we can for Miss Cleoni to go for it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask you again, please go ahead and share the broadcast. I'm going to introduce Miss Cleoni and let you hear from her and have her share a little bit about herself. And then we're going to get into it. I'm going to ask her some questions, but most of all, she is going to give you all some great information on how to develop your podcast, how to take Canva and really help shape and develop your brand. She's going to give you some great tools, family. This is going to be a free masterclass that we should be paying for, y'all. All right. So Cleoni is going to share with you just a little bit of pay 99 information for the free 99 tonight. All right. All right. So listen, without delay, let us meet the woman of God, Miss Cleoni Crawford. Good to see you, Miss Cleoni.
Hello, Mr. Hightower. Thank you very much for having me on your show. Totally appreciate it.
Absolutely. Please tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and what is it that you do. Among your many, many gifts, tell them a little bit about what you do and where you're from.
Sure. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I'm an author. I'm a podcast host, best-selling author, and I am an addictions and mental health student and a serial entrepreneur. So that's what I do. and now I'm a consultant where my job is to help take your raw talent, plus my experience, my education, and my research, and turn it to your success. So my hope is I will be teaching a course about how to start a podcast, how to start your own podcast, and how to use Canva, and how to monetize your gift, and that's what I do. So that's me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And of course, Miss Cleoni, tell them where you're from, because we would naturally assume that you are here in America.
Oh yeah, I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Toronto, Canada. All right, good stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
listen, y'all, we have a wonderful young lady, a wonderful woman of God who's coming from all the way from Toronto, Canada, who's going to pour into us tonight. All right. So listen, by all means, as much as possible, I will look to respond to questions and comments. And if you all at any time, if you all have any questions for Ms. Cleoni, by all means, don't hesitate to ask, drop a question in the comment section, and we will do the best that we can to make sure she gets those questions. All right. All right, so let's go, Miss Cleoni. So share with us first and foremost, which one do you want to start with? Let's talk about pardon me.
Maybe what is a podcast?
Yes, go ahead. Take us. This is podcasting 101. So I'm going to let you be solo on camera. Of course, I can still hear you, but I'm going to let you be solo so everybody can just focus in on you, and you can just really share. Okay, tell us about what is a podcast and how do we get started?
Well, a podcast is an audio program such as like a radio show that you can watch on a smartphone or other kind of device at a later time. A podcast can be recorded by video, but it's really an MP3 file. And a podcast is it's an MP3 file. That's what a podcast is. But there's more information. So in my course, what I'm going to be teaching people is I'll introduce you to the world of podcasting. You'll learn how to launch it, how to start it, how to market your podcast. And by the end of the course, you'll learn things such as something called like an RSS feed, because every podcast has an RSS feed. You'll learn things such as like cover art, which is like the audio, like the infographics that is needed, that is tagged to every episode to your podcast. Like on your podcast, you have an infographic, and that's how people can find your podcast. And also, each episode has an infographic, which basically is how people can find, like, it's more specific. It would have like pictures of the actual person that's on that podcast. So yeah.
So Cleoni, let me jump in. Let me ask you, because you mentioned an RSS feed, and most people who are not techie, who are not tech savvy, may not know what that means. So what is the significance of the RSS feed, and why is that something as a podcaster that I need to know?
Well, an RSS feed is basically it's a file extension that allows you to have all your episodes connected. Basically, it's a hyperlink.
Okay.
And the hyperlink allows all the what am I trying to say? It's a hyperlink which allows all the episodes, like whenever a new episode comes live, that RSS feed is what is needed for the new episodes to keep going, being generated.
Okay.
Does that make sense? A little bit?
I'm somewhat following you, somewhat tracking with you. But for the person who's a complete novice, who's never created a podcast, and again, someone who perhaps is not tech savvy, share with us, and maybe not so much from the tech side, but share with us, Cleoni, if you can, what is what are the basics from start to finish that I need to do in terms of the tools to help me get my podcast started? Maybe that'll be helpful.
Sure. Let me just get some notes here. So the first thing that you need to do is the first thing you need to have is a concept for your podcast, like a topic, name,
Absolutely.
format, and target length for each episode. Then you need to have your artwork, design, and description to brand your podcast. The next thing you need to have is you need to record and edit your audio, such as an MP3. A microphone is recommended. The next thing you need to have is to select a place to host your podcast. Basically, it's a file host that specializes in podcast hosting, such as Podbean or Spreaker. And finally, then you have to syndicate these audio files into what is called an RSS feed so that they can be distributed through iTunes as well as downloaded or streamed on any device or on demand.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned a microphone is recommended. Is a microphone absolutely needed, or do you feel that having a microphone just gives you the best quality in terms of your sound and your ability to record?
It just gives you the best quality in your sound and your ability to record. Like it is recommended. It is highly recommended because you want to make sure that the sound it's a surround sound type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because some computers, like if you were just to do it off of your computer, it's not the same quality.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreed.
Recommended.
Okay, awesome. So talk to us about content building, because I think that's one of the biggest challenges, Miss Cleoni, that I hear a lot of people saying, like, gosh, there's so many things to talk about, but I don't know which ones are important. I don't know which ones are really hot, which ones relevant. How do you know, Cleoni, about how do you know how to select the right topic for your podcast?
Well, that starts off with you coming up with your theme in the first place, figuring out what your theme is about, whether it's about health and well, there's so many different subcategories. So once you figure out exactly what your theme is about, then you would have to come up with your structure, whether it's going to be a solo interview or an interview style interview or storytelling type of interview. I mean, type of podcast.
Well,
So,
well, break those first two down for us, Cleoni. A solo interview versus what was the other type of interview?
interview, interview.
It's a regular interview. Yeah, break those two down. What's the difference between the solo interview and then the regular basic interview?
Well, the solo interview is just you by yourself and you just talking about whatever topics you want to talk. I think that's like that would be like something like Seth Rogen or something like that.
Okay. So in other words, you're not interviewing anybody per se. It's just you talking about a specific topic.
Precisely.
Okay. So that's the solo interview versus actually like what I'm doing right now, interviewing a guest. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then they have a storytelling where you could do it where it's where you're telling stories, where you do it like in a storytelling format, where it's like yeah, it's just a storytelling format. That's another one. And then you can do interviews where it's just like a combination of a few of those, where it's interview and solo and storytelling. You can just mix it all up if you want to. So I think like the Breakfast Club is a
Mm-hmm.
good example of something like they would be considered like a combination. Maybe,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Because they have
Mhm.
guests come in, they also talk amongst themselves, and then they also have different storytelling. So there's like they do different things in their show. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's an example.
What do you suggest would be the best format for a beginning person? What would be the best format? Would it be for them to just talk about a subject they're really passionate about?
Yeah,
Or would it be better to host a guest?
either works. Um, but I personally think that they should talk about what they're most passionate about.
Hmm.
Like, find a topic that you're most passionate about and just start talking about it. And then finding guests. You can find guests by using programs like podcastguest.com, matchmakerfm.com, and you can find guests on LinkedIn. So if you're looking to find guests, those are some other ways to find guests.
Matchmaker. Now, would that be relationship oriented?
No, it's not. It's a podcast.
That sounds like, hey, I'm gonna be hosting the show and we're gonna get some people hooked up. You know what I mean? We about to make some love connections up in here. You know what I mean? Like, is that what it's for? Like when I hear
No,
matchmaker.com, I'm like, okay, we about to get hooked up.
no, this is specifically for podcasts and podcasters.
Oh,
They,
okay. Very
yeah,
good.
they have, they have, they put their podcasts up, and podcasts, people who want to be guests put their profiles up on
Mm, okay.
so that they can be found, so that people can find them.
Okay. Good
Hmm.
stuff. Good stuff. Hey, Miss Nicole. All right. So listen, fam, I want you all to be able to engage Miss Cleoni and ask her questions. If there's anybody who's live with us right now and you have some questions as it relates to you hosting your own podcast show, how to get that started. Maybe you already have a vision, but you haven't executed that vision yet. You haven't actually started going forth yet. Maybe you don't know exactly what platform you should host it on. Listen, Miss Cleoni is here for all of us. So by all means, drop your question in the comment section, and we will be glad to take your question and have Miss Cleoni answer your question. And as you all are getting ready for that, as you're getting ready, you're getting your questions, typing in your questions, Miss Cleoni, let's talk about Canva. How can Canva be beneficial to branding your podcast or anything else that you're doing online and posting on social media?
Well, first of all, Canva is amazing for creating your infographics, your well, not really your audiograms, but your infographics,
Mm-hmm.
and also your artwork, your actual artwork for your podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on top of that, the cool thing up with Canva is they have something called a brand kit for features for people who buy the pro membership,
Mm-hmm.
where you can choose different brand colors for different and have them like the different palettes. You can have them put aside, so that way, if you want to be consistent with your brand, you can actually use the palettes on Canva, so that you can actually be consistent with your color palettes.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, once you've created your infographics, you take those infographics, and to continue to brand yourself, you take those infographics and go to somewhere that's called Headliner FM. And Headliner allows you to create an audiogram.
Mm-hmm.
So it allows you to basically An audiogram is where it has the picture and then the closed captioning at the bottom. They're talking, like you hear the audio and then you see the closed captioning.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
Cool. So here's a question that came in, Cleoni, and that is, how does one make money from doing their podcasting? Or is it something, well, two questions. I guess it's a 2-in-1 question. How can you make money using your podcast? And then number two, how can you, in monetizing your podcast, what would be the steps? What are a couple of basic steps? If you can answer that for us, Cleoni, what are a couple of basic steps to position your podcast to start monetizing from it?
Okay, so to make money, to monetize your podcast, there are two ways to monetize it.
Okay.
The first way is to sell sponsored ad space on there, and the going rate is $20 per 1,000 downloads. So it's not a lot. You don't make a lot, but if you have a lot of downloads, then you can make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And the second way to make money is to sell products, your own products, through your podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And to sell products through your podcast by promoting those products on your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two major ways that you can make money from podcasting. Because the podcast itself doesn't make the money, but what makes the money is just those two methods are the way that you can make money.
Promoting your products and services.
Yeah, promoting your products and services, or doing sponsored ads.
Sponsored ad. Oh, that's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Here's a question from Miss Christina Alvarez. And she says, hi, Dr. G and Miss Cleoni. I was wondering about the best mic as well as what program to use if I don't want to go through Anchor. Mm-hmm. Also, I see some people have a device where they plug the mic. It's a few $100s. Wondering if it's worth the price. Not sure if you know what device I'm talking about. Are you familiar with what she's talking about?
Yeah, I believe so. It's called the Blue Yeti.
A Blue Yeti. Okay.
The microphone that I think she's talking about is probably called the Blue Yeti, and it plugs. It has a USB port that you can plug in. That's what I have. The Blue Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in different colors, and that's that. And then other programs that you can use other than Anchor. There's a lot of programs, and in my class, I talk about the different programs. But Podbean is one example of a program that you can use, or Spreaker.
Podbean and Spreaker. Okay. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. All right. So you got that, Miss Christina. Blue Yeti is the microphone, the plug-in microphone that you're talking about. Now, Cleoni, which one for Christina, for someone who is perhaps an aspiring podcaster, which one would you recommend? Would you recommend the plug-in that you have? Or if maybe she's able to invest a little bit more money, would you suggest that she get a different type of professional microphone?
The Blue Yeti is fine. I personally love the Blue Yeti. It comes highly recommended.
Okay. Okay, awesome. All right, Christina said the device is not a mic, but people hook up to the mic. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Christina, great question. Great question. All right. So if anyone else has a question for Cleoni regarding podcasting, regarding Canva, she is here for us, family of God. She is here. And then also, while again, if you all are formulating questions, I want to put this in the chat because she has a class coming up that's going to be really, really, really a blessing for those of you who, again, are aspiring podcasters. You want to learn how to brand your business, take your brand to the next level. She has, I'm going to drop that link right here. And this is her link where you all can, good evening, Miss Sophia Renee. Good to see you. All right. So yeah, I just dropped that link in here. I'm going to post it right here. So this is Miss Cleoni's link, her Calendly link, and her brand, her firm is called Resilient Minds 365. That's Resilient Minds 365. And I'm going to pin her her link right here so that you all can get it. Oh, it won't allow me to pin it right now, so I'll have to come back and pin it. But I'm going to also post it here on the wall, Cleoni, so that after this broadcast, people can get it. All right.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see. So Michelle Hall is asking a question, Cleoni. She says, is podcasting, is it good for being on the go?
If yeah, you can do podcasting on the go if you want to. You mean as in to listen to it or for creating it?
I'm assuming she's talking about creating it because Michelle Hall is actually a professional radio broadcaster. She's a radio announcer in the Savannah area. Zoom. Michelle, I'm not sure I'm understanding your question, dear. Zoom AZ, I'm not sure I'm understanding your question. Can you give us a little more specificity? Because I'm not really sure I understand. What about Zoom AM or Zoom AZ? I'm not sure I understand that one, Michelle. So give me a little bit more specificity so I can help you communicate with Miss Cleoni on that one. But again, this is Cleoni's calendar link, her Calendly link, Resilient Minds at 365. And boom, this link will allow you to see this course that she's promoting, which is Monetize Your Gift. And then she also has some other great tools, some other great online courses that she teaches as well. So you can go to her Calendly link and check that out. All right. Here is Michelle's question, Cleoni. Zoom is a device. Would you recommend it?
Zoom as is a device. I don't know what Zoom as is as a device, but I use Zoom to actually I use Zoom to record my podcasts, to do my interviews, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I can't say, Michelle, that I've heard of that one either. I don't know. I mean, I've had a Zoom account for years. I'm not sure that I'm familiar with Zoom AZ. Please excuse me for not knowing. But yeah, I'm not sure that I understand that product either. But I know Zoom is, as Cleoni just said, I know Zoom is a good way of capturing your interview. And then, of course, from there, you can upload it onto your podcast platform, your podcasting platform. All right. Any other questions for Miss Cleoni tonight? We're talking about how to develop a successful podcast and how to utilize Canva to really brighten up, sharpen, and bring your brand to a level of excellence. All right, Michelle, you are so welcome, dear. You are so welcome. All right. Anyone else have questions for Miss Cleoni tonight? All right. Good stuff. Lisa, thank you. Lisa said, great information. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Good stuff, Lisa. Thank you. All right. We'll wait another few seconds or so, give people a chance to respond. In the meantime, family, again, Miss Cleoni has a wonderful course that she has coming up, and the course is entitled Monetize Your Gift. You definitely want to tap in with her. Go to this awesome Calendly link, calendlylink.com, and her firm is called Resilient Minds 365. Resilient Minds 365. Make sure you click on that calendar link. It's going to be right here in the profile. And then as soon as this broadcast is over, I'll make sure that we pin that link so that you all will be able to see it right at the top of this broadcast. All right. I'll also pin it in the heading of this broadcast where you all will be able to see it. So you'll be able to see it here in the chat as well as on the post itself on my wall. All right. So again, thank you all so much. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much for your comments as well and your questions. I'll wait another few seconds because I know some people might be like me, might type a little slow and trying to get your question together. So we'll wait, Ms. Cleoni, just for a few seconds to give people a chance to respond. All right. Ms. Marine said, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your help on podcasting. Thank you, Marine. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your feedback tonight. Thank you so much. While we're waiting, again, a few seconds, we'll wait. I am hosting tonight Third Watch Prayer Force, as we do every Tuesday, every Thursday, by God's grace. We'll be right back here tonight, family. Midnight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Mountain, and 9 p.m. Pacific time. All right, there, for all my mountain people, there's your time zone too. All right, so I covered all 4 time zones here in America. All right, so we'll be on tonight, family, right around the midnight hour. So make sure you tune in tonight, family. We're going to be coming back with part 2 of our message that we shared earlier today, but we're going to get deep into it tonight, family. And the message is simply entitled, Look Again. That message is all about, for those of us who are business owners, entrepreneurs, those of you who are climbing the corporate ladder, those of you who are pursuing academic goals, those of you who are inventors, creators, authors, inventors, whatever it is that you do. Listen, all of us have at some point or another gotten to a place of frustration, wondering, God, have you forgotten about me? God, I see other people around me getting blessed. When is it my turn? I see Cleoni being successful and she's making money. God, what about me? Did you forget about a brother? And so I'm encouraging you all tonight to join this broadcast tonight, family. We're coming from the Word of God, and God is asking all of us, or actually not asking us a question as much as he's giving us an instruction. Look again. Go back again. Do it again. Get back up and try again. That's the message for tonight. All right. So I don't see any more questions, Miss Cleoni. So I guess we will go ahead and wind down. Go ahead and give them, Miss Cleoni, one more good love nugget before we sign off for tonight.
Okay. So with this course, you will learn so many different things. Like, you'll learn every good podcast has something that's called an intro and an outro.
Mm-hmm.
That helps to personalize your podcast. So you'll learn things like that. In this course, you'll also learn a little bit about editing, how to edit your podcast yourself, or if you choose, you can always get someone else, a professional, to do it. But it's not necessary because you can do it yourself. And I teach you how to do that through this course. Yeah, there's so much to learn. Yeah, there's a lot to learn in this course. So you definitely want to, if you're interested in taking it, it is just go to my link, resilientcalendly.com/resilientminds365, and click on how to create a podcast and monetize your gift. And the course it's only $197 US. And yeah, so I hope to see you there on Saturday. It's this Saturday. I'll be teaching a group class on Saturday.
Here is a question for you, Ms. Cleoni, from Michelle Hall. Is the 1,000 download requirement per episode or total? When you were talking about ads.
I believe I think it's per episode. You have to have at least, well, actually, no, it's actually in total. It's like you have to have at least 1,000 downloads um, for all your podcasts.
Aha. Okay.
Because the thing is, people when they watch your episode, when they listen to your podcast,
Mm-hmm.
they don't necessarily listen to the same episode at the same time. Some people listen to it at different times.
Right.
So I believe it's actually for all the episodes. You have to have at least 1,000 downloads.
So if a person only has 2 episodes that they've downloaded, they have to have a combined 500. They have to have a combined 1,000 views of if it's 2, if it's 4, if it's 8 that they've already produced. They have to have a combined number of 1,000 people that have downloaded or viewed their podcast. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me just double check. I don't want to give the wrong information. I'm just double checking.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Where's the 1,000?
That's a really important number to have. And thank you for asking that question, Michelle. I probably would not have thought to ask that question, but that's why I personally surround myself with super smart people, smarter than me, who can figure out those things. I'm a teacher and I am a content creator, but all the technical aspects of it, listen, I get smart people around me to help me with all of that stuff. Because that's a lot for the brain to contain. So
you know what? I'm gonna have to get back to her on that one, that question, because
okay.
I don't know if it's per episode or if it's per all of them. I just know that you have to have at least 1,000 downloads in total.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's per episode or if it's I don't think it is per episode, to be honest, because usually that's not usually how they calculate the downloads. They usually calculate the downloads based on all your episodes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, listen, thank you all so much for tuning in. You've been listening to Miss Cleoni Crawford, phenomenal woman of God, and she has a great class coming up this weekend, Monetize Your Gift, and you can go to her Calendly link. It's right here, Calendly link / Resilient Minds 365. Resilient Minds 365. Again, I'm going to pin her information right here to this broadcast. I will also post it at the conclusion of this broadcast. I'll post it on this page as well, so that you all can have immediate access to it. Click on that link and look for her class, which is entitled what, Miss Cleoni?
How to hold on. How to create, give me a second. How to create a podcast and monetize your gift.
All right. How to create a podcast and monetize your gift. All right, family. So listen, you have heard it from Miss Cleoni herself. So by all means, again, click on this Calendly link and I promise you, you will gain some information that will help you get to that next level. All right. So thank you for coming in, family. Again, we'll be right back here in just a couple of hours at midnight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the West Coast. We'll be here for Third Watch Prayer Force, and we're going to be sharing a powerful, encouraging word entitled Look Again. All right. So this is your brother, G. Hightower, the Entanglement Coach, with Miss Cleoni Crawford. We are signing off, fam. Blessings on you, and we'll see you later on by God's grace.